And welcome to Fate of the Pods.
Hi, everyone.
My name's Aerro,
And my name is Rainy Day.
and thank you for joining us on our first ever of hopefully many future podcasts. Um, it's been a long time coming in the making of this big guy.
We're really excited to have it up and going.
Yes. Um, so what we're kind of doing here, I guess, the concept of this show is to talk a little RuneScape, talk about some real life stuff, and just kind of have a conversation. And we don't take things seriously here at all, so keep that in mind. Today's topic, I guess, start at the beginning. RuneScape beginnings, first logins, account creation.
Early memories,
Yes,
first few friends, the ones that don't play anymore.
literally, like
Um,
none of them.
None. Um,
So, how old were you when you made your first real account?
okay, so my first ever account, which I'm lucky to say is still the one that I actively play on, was created back in August of 2007. So I was about like 8 years old.
Work.
And yeah, it was at a public library, and it was me, my brother, and a couple of my cousins. I think I'm the only one who actively still plays, so good for me or good for them. But yeah,
I was kind of in the same boat. Like, I was introduced to RuneScape by like my really good childhood friends that I hung out with all the time. And like came over to their house one day and they're like, "Yo, we're playing this new game. You gotta play, blah blah blah." And I was like, "Okay." Um, was not like a. I mean, I was 11 years old. I was also in 2007, so high five, Rainy. Um, and yeah, just started kind of out of the blue one day. Had never heard of it before, and some odd, how many years later? 13 years later, still on this damn game. But
14.
yeah, uh, game has changed quite a bit since then.
I I remember my first struggle was I was stuck in a Lumbridge castle, and if you click the wall, you end up going backwards instead of forwards. It's something weird. Well, I wasn't going the direction I wanted to, and I was freaking out. And then my cousin was like, "Hit the smiley face button and message somebody." And I was like, "How is that gonna get me out of here?" Um, it was just not a fun experience. I remember rage quitting early on because I just didn't know what to do. And there was one point. It was a completely different place. It was like months after. I was stuck in the trees of the Drainer Manor, like the front area, and it was dark. And I was like, I don't know what to do. And so my brother came and he hit the home teleport button, and I was back at Lumbridge. I was like, oh my god, yes, it's daytime. It's no longer spooky. So yeah.
That's yeah. I'm trying to. Was it just me, or was this like a fever dream I had? Was there like a YouTube video very early on when we started playing that were like the knights who say knee? And it was
I,
like a scene that was in like the Lumbridge dining hall, and it's just like a bunch of knights animated to just be like dancing around, and they just say knee or something.
I've never watched it, but I definitely know it
Okay,
exists.
like I'm not making this up. Okay. Yeah. So that video, and then the other video, where it was like they were attacking, someone was like breaking into the banks of RuneScape, and it obviously was fake, but it was like a wizard was like, was it the
Yeah, it's the wise old
Wild Moon
man.
Man? Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Like breaking into like the Draenor bank and just like KOing everybody.
Yep, I remember that.
Holy
That
crap.
definitely happened.
Um,
Um, the random events, I always
oh
dreaded the
my
evil chicken because
god.
I thought it was going to be an instant kill. I was always anticipating it, but
I completely forgot about random events until you just brought it up.
yeah.
Oh my god. If you got random event like you're AFK or whatever and then you come back, your random event is the maze, log out. Coming back tomorrow. I
Yeah.
was like,
Or when the sandwich lady comes, and I don't know if you like misclick or you forget or you just don't
pick the
click the
wrong
right
one,
one,
and she just
and
smacks the shit
you
out of you.
and you're in some random place, not where you were cutting trees. Ugh.
Literally, yeah. Or you are cutting trees, and like an ant spawns and breaks your axe.
Yeah, and I also they still exist, but you know those mysterious like hooded wizard drainer never kill pour it out before they die. And I remember just like I used to hit them and then run away because you can't kill them and obviously you don't want to be killed by them either. Do you know those figures I'm talking about? They're
Um,
literally like human like hooded people.
are they
Like they're wearing a black hood.
are
And
they
you every time you like get them to 0 HP they're like oops, got to go. They've been around for a very long time.
where are these at?
Drainer Village.
Oh God, no, I can't off the top of my head. I don't remember them, but I believe you.
Thank you.
I be- I believe your experience. Okay, so let's talk a little about let's start at Tutorial Island, everyone's favorite place. Does it still exist in RS3?
There's an island of it on the map, but I don't think you can access it.
Okay, I recently made like an alt on old school just for to like steal a specific username and then like haven't played it since. But in old school I know they still have Tutorial Island.
Lucky them. I remember they stopped Tutorial Island and they had this really bad thing and it was like you learn a few skills. It just wasn't the same. I just remember you stealing something and then the guy was like, "Ooh, loot," or something stupid. And I was like, "Patch this up, bring back Tutorial Island."
Yeah, I feel like whatever is there now, I mean, hindsight's 2020. If you've never played the game, Tutorial Island is actually like helpful.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you've played it, you're like, Jesus Christ, click, 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 click. But I feel like if you're starting the game now and you do whatever it is starting on RS3, like you have no idea what the fuck you're getting into.
Yeah.
Um, that's yeah, yeah. It's just different, which is fine. I mean,
Because Tutorial Island was a tutorial. It literally, all the tabs like quest, skills, bank, friends, ignore, you would go through and you'd learn every single one of them. And then that's when they would like pop up on your things you can click.
right. I mean, if anything, it was like learning how to use the interface,
Yeah.
which has also changed drastically over time. Okay, let's talk about what you liked about the game right away. What drew you into returning playership on this game we call RuneScape?
The character models. Like I liked running around. I liked equipping random stuff that I didn't know what it was. And then you'd meet people and they'd be like, "Oh, this exists." Like changing your outfit for the first time or your hairstyle. Um, that was really fun. Or just talking to people, or even the path from Lumbridge to Varrock, and those dark wizards smack you because you're low level and
Oh,
they're aggressive.
they murder you multiple
Yeah,
times.
yeah,
Yes, I definitely enjoyed like the playing with friends right away. That's probably the reason why I was able to stick with it at the beginning was I was playing it with friends almost exclusively. But I think what kept me on, I really enjoyed like the almost subliminal competitiveness of like skilling and like, oh, my level's higher than yours now. Like, oh, did you get this yet? Did you unlock this yet? I liked that a lot.
yeah. Or like talking to a random NPC and then you start a quest, and then next thing you know, you're baking a cake.
You're baking a cake, you're making bread,
Yeah,
um, you're making, yeah, 5 course meals. It's a 20-minute quest, the best in the game.
yeah.
Um, Also, I should preface that I will say a decent chunk of RuneScape words incorrectly, like pronounce them incorrectly. I think I might have just been dyslexic for the longest time, and then like how I said it when I was younger, when I first like saw the words, it stuck with me now. Like I can't, reroute that brain path. It's there forever. So for example, I think it's called Ardoni, right? Like
It's
east and
it's
west.
it's Ardoin.
Ardoni. Oh, see, I don't even. Anyway, guess
Yeah, but yeah,
this is how I
that's
I say it, and I know this is totally wrong, but I say it West Andro.
that completely works. Because for me, there are actual words that exist on RuneScape that also exist in the real world that I don't mispronounce them anymore, but I used to. Like the K in scythe was pronounced. There is no K in scythe, but I used to say scythe,
Oh,
and it was bad. And then that's just one example. Or I was very confident that the city of Catherby was Catherby. Like you could not convince me otherwise.
I know. I
But yeah, but the scythe being scythe, it was I was just dumb.
It's Scythe, right?
It's definitely scythe.
Okay. And is it scimitar or scimitar?
I think it's scimitar.
Okay.
But you would call it rune skimmy, wouldn't you? Like
Yeah. Rune
the
simi.
fun version of it. Was it rune simmy or skimmy? But I know it's scimitar. See,
I guess in my head I always said simi, which
it's
sounds
probably
stupid.
simmy. No, but rune in my mind it was like rune skimmy, even though I know it's rune scimitar.
I Who
Or
knows?
for the longest time I was like, what does 2H mean? Like a rune 2H sword, but
Oh yeah.
it's two handed. You hold it with two hands.
Big
RuneScape taught
brain.
me a lot. Yeah.
This game taught me real world things that I was supposed to learn in high school. RuneScape taught me. Oh, that's a whole another thing. Like I am able to type at 6 trillion words per minute because of this game.
Same. Well, I don't type that fast, but I type my my speed is because of RuneScape. It would have been a lot slower without it.
I remember in like, did you ever have to take those like computer classes in like 7th and 8th grade where it was like
Yeah.
competency? I would annihilate everybody in my class. I was the first done, and like all the typing things, like I had like the best words per minute, the most like accuracy, and I was like, and what? Maybe you guys should pick up a hobby or something. I don't know.
100% true.
It's just the name of the game. Like
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
spend thousands of hours of your life on this game, you might get good at typing. A short pay outpay, something that I earned for giving this game my money over the years is
Yeah,
word typing accuracy.
absolutely.
So let's move on. Um, what were some of your favorite things to do right away when you started playing? What aspects of the game were you like, this is really fun. I enjoy my time here.
Well, I spent the good first few of my years on RuneScape as free to play. I couldn't justify paying money for a game at the time. It just, yeah, no, I wasn't doing it. And I will say that the only reason I am an active member is because of bonds. So I started actively playing again in 2013. But anyway, I really liked killing cows. Like I spent a good majority of the time in Lumbridge and Varrock, like all the free to play world areas and cities. And there was this non-player character named G, and he would assign you jobs, and he would give you money, and I really liked him. He doesn't do that anymore, which sucks, but
So
I
you
do appreciate him.
so cow killing was on the top of the list for you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I remember it took me so long to train ranged, and I think everybody did it killing chickens.
Oh
The chicken coop.
yeah.
I don't know if my experience is different from everybody's, but I want to say that a lot of people did that there too. I hope people did.
Yeah. Um Definitely cow killing. Sorry, PETA. Um, Using magic on like the ducks in Lumbridge to get like your first
Well,
couple levels.
yeah, that and that lesser demon that was in jail in the wizard's tower was
Oh,
also good for magic
I
experience.
totally forgot about that. Yep, that's for sure. I don't know why, but one of my like what I love to do. I was a member pretty quickly. I knew at a very young age that I was gonna be addicted to this game for life. So I've been a member for a while. Anyway, my one of my favorite things to do was go to Castle Wars, and this was pre-grand exchange time. So if like you wanted to buy anything in bulk or any like weapon or armor, you went to Castle Wars and just like spammed and hoped someone was selling, dragon plate legs for 160k or whatever they were. um Castle Wars at its peak, so fun, so fun. Outside of like all the good people having ancients and just like barraging you, like one hitting you essentially. But I would say a majority of my early combat experience was exclusively from Castle Wars.
That's honestly really cool because I've played a total of 5 Castle War games in my life. I missed out on the glory days of it, but it does seem like a really fun mini game to play though. To actually play, not to AFK for Halos.
um First of all, rude. um I think I have 730 games logged, and that's just logged that I can quick chat. I played, I don't know, probably another 100 games on top of that in like the years before they started tracking stuff. Um, yes, I AFK'd a lot of Castle Wars, but
I mean, I will one day go to get the Halos because they're pretty cute, and also the shields. They have a lot of good cosmetic items.
they do, yeah. I guess the one thing about getting the profound title or whatever that requirement is that I do have like all 3 Halo overrides, which is nice.
Yeah,
It's
but I
cool.
will say the Profound Halo is terrible. Like they did everybody who did that trim requirement wrong
Yeah,
with that Halo that is actually a tiara.
they did us very dirty. I know. They tried. They kind of list. I mean, the fact that they did give us something when we were just like, "Hey, you can't just take this wreck away and not, you know, give the people who did it some like kickback." So they did listen to us, which I appreciate. But yeah, it's not. It's not it. It ain't it, Chief.
Not at all.
Um, I think we could maybe. Should we move on to kind of our special segments here?
Yes.
Okay, you can. I'll let you start with the NPC.
Okay, so each podcast we're going to have an NPC, non-player character of the day, and the one I'm choosing for the first episode is going to be the one and only Kalphite King. Um,
Pew, 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 pew,
this
pew.
this bug deserved some lore. The amount of like energy that was put into Nex, which don't get me wrong, I love Nex to death. Kalphite King got none of it. He's just a bug that you kill. And he deserves like so much more respect. And I feel like with the expansion of the desert, like Menaphos and stuff, he should have been included. He should have, like, I'm really glad he doesn't have a 16-second entrance animation before you get to attack him. Um, but
Read.
he he deserved he deserves more. Um,
I'm gonna
but yeah,
be.
and it's also a fun boss to kill.
Um, See, I'm gonna disagree with you there, in the sense of it's a fun boss to kill. But I also have that feeling about most bosses, so take that for a grain of salt. Um, I think he's a fun boss. I have honestly haven't killed fucking KK in like probably at least 2 years.
Yeah, so it is in Old Boss, I think it was one of the first bosses released after EOC. Um, and a lot of people that I talk to that kind of don't really play RS3 anymore have really good memories about killing it when it was like an earlier boss. So I've only started killing it like within the last 6 months or so. But I do appreciate the good memories they had of killing it with a few of their friends when it was first released. Because
I
I
mean,
didn't get that, but yeah.
right. I mean, it was like super fun at the beginning, or like if your clan decided to go do like KK night and bring like 20 people and everyone just get blue bombed or like
Yeah.
their life away. That was kind of fun. Like the memes were fun about it. I think what deterred me, one is that, I mean, I'm not sweaty, so I can't, or I don't choose to solo it. That's, it's hashtag team too much for me. But like even with that at the time, Drygores weren't that much. I mean, Drygores had gotten down to like 14, 15 mil max each, and it was just not worth. Like I could have done, other bosses for faster that gave me better drops. But
Yeah.
since then, I mean, what Drygores are sitting at like 40, 50 mil now, 50 mil
Yeah.
plus.
It's a good um it's good money today for what it is. I feel like for a while it wasn't, but now it is, especially the offhands. So good for KK.
It, did they rise because of rumbling component, or what do they give?
They do give rumbling components.
Okay.
The chitons do, but also the offhands are good. There's something about offhands in this game. I think it's for the repriser stuff, the defenders.
Yeah.
That's the reason they're higher. I'm no expert in that field, but yeah, something about that.
The offhand to main hand discrepancies have gotten pretty wild. Like, have you looked at what seismic like offhand wand to orb is?
Yeah, it's like 3 times the amount.
It's disgusting.
It's for the defender stuff, I think, because it's in demand.
I
The singularity is more in demand than the wand.
dude, Sing is so much. Yeah, I saw that the other day and I was literally like, who in the what? Why? I couldn't wrap my brain around it.
Yeah, but it's not what it used to be. It used to be crazy expensive back when Virago was the it boss.
The
Um,
the only the good people could do
Kill it.
Virago.
Yeah, but back when tier 90s were first the thing, that was a time to be alive.
That is true.
Um,
Big if true. I will
yeah,
agree. Yes, like when Virago came out, and then what else? What other T90s are there? KK.
Ascensions.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yep.
I have one. I don't even know what the bosses are called. The Order of Ascension bosses.
Like
I have one
Legius,
kill.
Sextus.
Yeah, Legios. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what they're. I have my PR, my personal best is a 129 or something. But I also have one kill, so you can't tell me that I'm bad, and it should be like
4
less than
seconds
10
or
seconds.
whatever
Yeah, whatever the.
stupid shit people can do nowadays. Like, yeah, I think I have 2 kills. I did it once and I was like, probably never again. See, my big smart brain thinks in the way that, is this worth like me devoting my time, or by the time I would possibly get good at this boss, to like make a really good profit off it, or get the items that it drops and like use it for myself. By the time that happens, there might be another boss with like better stuff coming out.
Yeah, but
That's
I do get where you're coming from.
I'm also super
But
lazy.
that's a big thing. I have something to add to the laziness, but I will say that Legios are a good. If it's for me, if a boss log is doable, like I can do it, I'm gonna eventually go for it. I probably won't go for Legios anytime soon, but I will eventually do it because it is easy, even though with the keys and stuff, it's going to be a money sink before you get profit. But for laziness, back when there was a time where I could only PVM on specific days because PVMing made me really nervous. And I was like, I can only do it on the weekends. And this was also before presets, and there was only one boss portal and stuff.
Oh, yep.
But yeah, I used to be really weird about that.
I mean, I've never been a fan of PVM, and we can save this for a later episode, absolutely. But I mean, like, to go back to kind of my point of like just being lazy and waiting, like when Araxor came out, I was like, this is just hard enough for me that by the time I would get good at it, like a better weapon like set would be out. And it's like, I'm just gonna wait.
Yeah, a PVM podcast is in the works, because Araxor coming out, it was back when Reaper was a comp requirement, and all the people that didn't do PVM were really upset. Very upset because they couldn't really kill it, and it was like a solo boss.
Oh.
Or duo just wasn't simply worth it.
I know. And honestly, comp recs and stuff, that is a whole nother podcast, because I could go off into like the stratosphere of like heat just seeping from my body about issues with that. So anyway, we'll move on to our second segment here that we're gonna plan on doing for upcoming podcasts. It's called RuneScape in Real Life, RSIRL. We're gonna take one skill every podcast and kind of relate it to something that has happened in current events of the world, and then kind of just talk about stuff outside of RuneScape for a little bit. So my skill that I have chosen is Strength, and I'm going to use it in the context of the Conor McGregor snapping his leg in the fight last night. You watched it, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay. I mean, when it happened, I didn't until they showed the replays of it, I thought he literally just had slipped and fallen over, and he had just messed up his footing or something. It was sweat on the ground, something, and just had fallen down. I had no idea until the round was over, and then he tried to move his leg, and his ankle didn't move with the top of his leg. I was like, ooh.
Yeah. I didn't notice it either, and I was like, whoa. And then they played it back and I saw it, and then later on Twitter I saw the actual moment that it snapped.
Yeah, the bottom of his tibia was touching the ground along with his ankle.
Yeah.
Which I mean, you're kicking as hard as you can with some of these people, and then their adrenaline's just out of this world in those fights. They can't even tell. He probably microfractured it right at the beginning of the fight, and then I don't know what he did, but just
he stepped back wrong or something. Yeah,
and it was weak, and it just.
Yeah, but as a shit talker he is, I'm not glad that happened to him, but it's better that he did that to himself, because he wouldn't let Dustin go at all, as if he had a reason to blame it on him,
Yeah, he would have lost.
He did that to himself. Yeah,
he was losing that fight handedly. He wasn't gonna win that, and I didn't really because I don't care that much, but I didn't really read into all the stuff that had been said between the two kind of leading up to the fight. That initially, last time they had fought, I guess it was pretty they were not, I wouldn't say friends, but things were a lot better between the two. And then between then and McGregor coming back now, McGregor just was saying some awful shit about literally killing him, putting him in a coffin or something. And I was I don't boxing isn't, or kickboxing, martial arts, whatever it is, MMA, all of it's kind of lumped in the same group in my head. None of that is particularly cool enough for me to buy into the people saying the most obscene, crazy shit. Like, I don't know. I don't know what your take is on the whole fighting thing. I don't know if you grew up watching it a bunch.
I've only recently started watching UFC and this type of stuff. I unfortunately spent a good chunk of my time watching WWE, and it was entertaining for those days. But I feel like, yeah, I do get where you're coming from, but I feel like the shit talking, especially like the type of stuff McGregor says, it's like played up a lot, and there's a lot of people that love that about him. But yeah, he, regardless of his injury, yeah, he does. He needs to pack it up. He was gonna lose though.
Yeah, for sure. He should just go back to making like watch commercials. Is that what he did for a while? Like he was in some big like.
Oh, I have no idea.
Like,
I have to go look into that.
Yeah, he had like literally he was just like a sponsor where he just was like in the commercial for like 5 seconds wearing the watch. You know, like how celebrities would be in like perfume ads or something, like get the new Dior, blah 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 blah. He was like that for one of these watches. It was, I don't know. But anyway, I think that kind of wraps it up for our first pod, don't you think?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much for everybody who kind of listened, who stuck along with us today. We've got a lot of stuff coming down the pipe.
Yes. And yeah, for everybody that stuck around to the end, thank you so much for being with us for our first ever podcast.
Yes. All right. Well, what we need like a sign off. You know, what should be our sign off, Rainy?
You know, I feel like may the fate be with you has a nice ring to it.
May the fate be with you. Yes.
Yes.
Perfect. All right. Well,
yes.
May the fate be with all of you, and we will see you on the next one.
Yes. Bye, everyone.